Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Talented Universe on this 30th day of December, 2025. We've only got one more full day of 2025. That is so crazy. But before I go on, I just wanted to make a special announcement that Marcia and I are very excited about. This is our 100th, almost plus guest this year that have been involved with vertical dramas. So, and we have done over 170 podcasts this year, but 100 of them or more have been with vertical drama. And we are so excited about
Yay.
So this is a milestone than that last couple of days. So, but on that note, Marcia, how are you doing?
I am doing great and even better now to realize that we are 100 with our 100th guest today. And I am so pleased to welcome Courtney Coffey to Talented
Oh,
Universe. Courtney,
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
yeah, you are you are a very talented young lady because you're an actress, model, dancer, producer, singer, dot 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 dot. So how are you doing? How's your holiday been going so far?
I'm good. Yeah, I've had a lot of time to sleep over the holiday, which I don't normally get because I'm usually doing something. So it's been really relaxing, really nice to spend time with family. So very
Mm,
grateful for the time off for sure.
yeah, that's always good. And well, let's start. Michael loves it when I use my Wayback Machine. I like to go back. So I'm going to put a coin in your Wayback Machine and go back to you were born in Honolulu,
Hmm.
Hawaii. So,
Yeah,
and you're a military,
yeah.
yeah.
Both my parents were in the army.
Hmm. And how long were you even spend part of your childhood in Hawaii, or did you immediately move around?
Yeah, I was in Hawaii for about like 3 years, and then Germany, and then Kansas, then a whole bunch of other places. So
Hmm.
um, we moved like every 18 months ish for most of my childhood. But I have gone back to Hawaii and spent a lot of time there. So I
Hmm.
definitely feel like it's one of my homes.
Okay. So when somebody says, "Okay, Courtney, where are you from?" What do you say?
I say Hawaii because I mean,
More exotic?
yeah, everyone's like, "Wow, Hawaii." So I say that, and I do like whenever I go visit, I feel like it's more like of a home base for me. So there's some truth
Mhm.
to that.
Cool. Now, as we like to find out how you came to the profession of acting, and you had an unusual kind of connection into the world of music and acting. You won a contest, I understand. So tell us
Yeah,
how that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm strange in the sense that I've like always known that I was gonna be a performer. Like I always wanted to be an actor. I always wanted to be a singer. I watched TV. Like the first time there was a commercial on, I was like, I'm gonna do that. My parents were like, oh, it's a phase. But it wasn't. So I begged my parents to put me in acting classes from a young age. And I was in all the drama classes. I tried to do like random auditions and things. And back when I was a junior in high school, there was this thing called like the AccuView One Day Contest. And it was basically like helping teens live their one day dream. And so it was over spring break. I was bored. I just submitted a video, not thinking anything of it. And then I ended up winning. So then I got to like fly to LA. I was part of the AccuView campaign. I shot a commercial for AccuView. Um, my mentor was Tyler Blackburn, who was like a huge star on Pretty Little Liars at the time. And he taught me a lot about acting as well. And then I got to do a little appearance on this show called Jane by Design, which used to be on ABC Family back when it was called that. So
Mm-hmm.
I got to do a lot of cool things. Like I got to go to the Teen Choice Awards that year as well, and they kept like bringing me back for lots of different things. So that was my first kind of like entrance into the professional world, I guess. But yeah, it was very unique.
Yeah. And when you got that, you won that contest, you toured kind of with Demi Lovato and did some interesting things there as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was part of it because we shot a commercial with Demi, and so we got to go on her Neon Lights tour and like talk about contacts during the opening act. So it was really fun, and they played our commercial spot and everything while we were on stage. So that was like a really unique experience, and you know, I built like this friendship with all the other kids who got to do it, as well as like the talent who was involved in it. So yeah, it was really, really cool.
It sounds cool to me. And you say you still keep in touch. You've made some friends that through that experience. That yeah, yeah.
Yeah, one of my best friends actually is from that experience, and he's a fashion designer.
Oh.
And he lives in Canada, so I don't get to see him that often, but, like, whenever he comes to LA, I'll be like, "Hey, let's hang out," and whenever I go up to Canada, he hosts and,
Mm,
we hang out, so he's definitely one of my best friends.
okay. And since most people are probably going to, many people are going to want to look at your acting, your vertical mobisodes experiences. What was your very first vertical?
My very first vertical was back I shot it back in 2023. I think that's when verticals really just hit the US, like, we just started doing them here. But it was called We Will Love Again, and it was so fun because like, no one knew what they were doing because verticals were so
Hmm.
new. Um, so we were all just, like, learning together and trying our best, and I do think that's one of the verticals where I, like, met, like, the most, like the strongest bonds with the
Mhm.
cast and the crew and everything. And you know, we'll see each other on different verticals now. We'll keep in touch and all these other things. So that one was really special for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, because you were the best friend kind of to the lead. One of the
Mhm.
scenes that I thought was really funny was when you were shopping. You went to the and it
Yeah.
kind of reminded me of Pretty Woman, where you go in to the a high exclusive shop and tell me what happens.
Yeah. So funny story about that scene actually. So like I said, we like had no direction. Like everyone was just trying to figure out what to do. And so when we were shooting that scene, like the first take, I just went like all out. Like, I was like, "I'm a defender. I can't believe they called us poor." Like, I went for it, and then they cut, and the director was like, "Maybe pull it back just a little bit. Like, maybe that's a little too much."
Little.
Um, so, yeah.
And I won't spoil it for those who will see it. It's a fun vertical, and so it does that scene does kind of remind me of Pretty Woman if you've seen the movie where she goes
Mhm.
in and the salesperson doesn't believe that they are legit and treats them poorly and whatnot. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a fun experience to watch as well. And so moving forward in your verticals, um, one in 2004, I think it was, I swapped bodies
Nemesis.
with my enemy. Is that did you see that one too, Michael?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you first read a script like that, what were your first thoughts about that? Because that was a kind of Freaky Friday movie.
Right. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what I thought. I was like, "It's just like Freaky Friday." And I hadn't seen any vertical scripts like that one before, so I was immediately intrigued. I was like, "I think I wanna be a part of this one." Um, so My kind of archetype I get a lot is like the best friend.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the role that I fell into with this one as well. But it was really, really fun. And that the main actors, they're super talented because they had to play like completely opposite ends of the spectrum, two different characters for that one. And they had to like switch them on and off because we shoot out of order.
Yeah.
Um, so it was really cool to like be a part of that and to watch them do that as well. And like me as the best friend character got to be confused because I was like, wait a second, you're like you have the face of my best friend, but like you're not my best friend. What's going on? So that one was really fun.
What do you think that you learned from a movie like that that was very different? You said it was, a bit of a challenge to know who was who at when and that kind of thing. Hmm.
Yeah, I think, as actors, we have like two brains happening at the same time. And one is like the creative brain where we're like really getting into the character and really like understanding the emotional story and everything. And the other is the like logical, analytical brain where we're like, okay, um, they're gonna yell cut and we have to stop. And we have to like be in this emotional state at the top of the scene. And this is where like we have to like think logistically about where we were. So the challenge, but also like the cool thing that I learned with this one was like it was very heavily like focused on the balance between the two because we were shooting out of order and because like as an actor, like I know who's who at every point because I have the script. But as the character, you don't know what's going on. So you kind of have to like find that balance and um, make sure you're doing your job as an actor, but also doing your job as like the analytical actor and knowing like making sure you're hitting your mark, making sure you're doing certain things to camera because like there are certain emotions and things that have to be portrayed that are hard to do without kind of that technical direction.
Hmm.
And so that was a really cool lesson with that one.
Yeah. Michael, did you want it or do you want me
Yeah.
to?
Yeah. I have a couple things. First, I'm going to get through my question I asked most everybody. You started to answer it, but you almost got there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you almost got there. When you did your first vertical and you were like, what in the world is this? Then you had to go home or get or text your friends when they ask you what you did that day. How did you explain a vertical to them?
Yeah,
Probably still do.
you still do. I usually explain them as like soap operas, but for TikTok, just because TikTok, they think about like the vertical platform.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I explain them now a lot as just like soap operas. And I don't really explain them to my parents because they don't need to watch them. But
Oh, okay. Okay. So
yeah.
you're censoring their viewing.
Yeah, they're like really heavily involved and supportive of my career, but I'll tell them if there's something that they shouldn't watch because
Oh, okay.
yeah.
And they understand that? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's okay if you miss this one. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah, you could miss that. We'll get the next one, right?
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you a few other things about I swap bodies with my nemesis.
Mhm.
Now, this is going to be a spoiler for people. So if you haven't seen it, tune this off for 2 minutes, okay? Now, there were two things in the scenes that caught my eye. One was when your boss was getting abused, and I'm looking in the background, and you run away, and I go, "Why is she running away?" And then you bring in, the boyfriend who's really your boss, but you don't know that, and I went, okay, that's why. But that really caught me off guard. I go, why is she running away? Is she going to help? So, but you did. I mean, I guess it was the mood I was in, and it was like, ah, you know. The other thing, the end of the vertical,
Mhm.
was that always written like that, or did they change it? Because not many of them set something up for like a sequel, but yours did. Was that
Yeah.
pre-planned, or did they decide to do that at the last minute? Or aren't you sure?
So when I got the script, it was like half written, like that.
Oh, okay.
And the director, Shu, he's like one of my favorite directors ever. And he was actually the director of We Will Love Again too. So he's awesome. But me and the other actor from that scene, we also did We Will Love Again together. Like I said, we see each other a lot.
You see each other, yeah.
And so he was like, I'm gonna get you guys a sequel, I promise.
So he did say that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool.
So it was kind of written like that, but of course we had our creative freedom a little bit in how that was actually portrayed, and how that came across. But yeah, that was a really fun one.
No, it was almost identical to the beginning of the vertical. So just different characters.
Yeah. Yeah, and Samantha, the character that I had the opportunity to play in that one too, when she was running away to get the boyfriend. When I read that scene, I kind of thought the same thing too at first. I'm like, would she do that? But like, I thought about it, and the way that I kind of like took that and ran with it, literally, was I just thought, like if this was actually her best friend, I feel like Samantha's kind of like, she's not a very calm person. She's like all over the place a little bit. So like the first idea that she has, she goes with it. And that was her first idea. And she went with it.
Yeah, I think what also threw me is that, if I remember correctly, because it was late when I watched it, that's sad, but your facial expression when you saw what was happening, and then you ran away. So my first thing was, she's getting out of there, and that's probably why I thought what I thought at the time. But I mean, it was really great, and I did enjoy that they kind of set it up for a sequel if that's possible. Now, would you love to do that? Would you like to explore having to do probably similar to things with body swapping and stuff? Would you enjoy acting that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be so fun for me. Just because like that's one of those things I feel like a lot of actors would love to do because it's a challenge, like you don't get to do that often, and it really like lights up again
not in the same script usually. So you play different characters in different scripts, but you usually don't have two characters in the same script.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So it really lights up both the creative and the analytical brain there. And it's also just fun. Like the mistakes that happen on set because you're confused about who you are sometimes is hilarious. I wish they had the blooper reel out for that one because that one was great.
There's some good bloopers, huh?
Yeah. Some amazing bloopers.
In all of your, let's say, travels in the vertical world, is there one production that stands out to you that you either learned a lot of new things for your talent, or that you just had a wonderful time? Maybe you reunited with a cast that you had before. Is there something that stands out so far in your journey?
Yeah. I think honestly, like We Will Love Again, I know it's my first one, but I think because of the bond that we had, not just as a cast, but with the crew, that one was really special. And like me and Elena, who was the lead character in that one, we're still really good friends. And I was able actually to reunite with Seth recently on a different vertical. The quarterback's first love. So I was able to reunite with him, and we talked about everything that he's done since then, everything that I've done since then, and
he's done a lot
really blown up. Yeah, he's really blown up in the vertical space, so I'm really happy for him. But yeah, it was just a really special environment in that very first one, and of course we all learned a lot because none of us knew what we were doing at first. So yeah. I think it was really cool to kind of like, at least in my brain, it felt like that one almost set the tone for a lot of the verticals that came after it. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Did you film that in LA or did you get to travel for that one?
That one was in LA. And that one was shot over like 2.5 weeks. So it took a long time. Usually verticals are like 5 days now, but
Yeah.
that one was 2.5 weeks. So it was an adventure.
Well, probably the crew, unless they brought the crew from China, probably
Yeah,
they were all getting used to this new format and how to block it and all that other stuff. I just can't imagine starting something new like that and starting from scratch. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, but that makes total sense. Um, I'll wait to this to the end. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Marcia, and then when we come back,
Yeah.
I'll ask you this question.
With another one of your movies, which you mentioned a little bit of, is Chained to My Prison Guard,
Hmm.
where you played Zoe, and you have the orange prison uniform, and you're you're in, and you're the more experienced prisoner, let's say. And in that role, I was happy to see that you were not only in the beginning, but you were in the end as well. Because sometimes with characters, we see just a little bit at the beginning and then they just disappear. So I was really glad that we got to see more of your story, and you really had a strong role in that film, I thought.
Yeah, yeah. I think Zoe was definitely a challenge for me because I usually get like the softer characters, and she's
Hmm.
not that. um, um, but and it's funny too. My very first day on set for that one was like the hardest scene that I had to do. It was the one where we're in like solitary confinement, talking to each other through the wall.
Hmm.
So that was a really fun introduction to that cast. But
Hmm.
um, that one was really fun just because it was such a detour from what I normally do, and everyone, of course, was super supportive. So it was really cool, and I was really grateful to be such a big part of that story for sure.
Yeah. And the part itself, I always want to see more. Actually wanted to see more of Zoe's story. We
Mhm.
heard more about Zoe's story at the end, and how she came to be in prison, and that kind of thing. Um, when you think about a character, do you add some more backstory on your own in addition to what's in the script?
Yeah. So part of my process for like creating the world in my brain is actually doing that work. So like, why is this person sad? Why is this person anxious? Why is this person depressed? Because I mean, the script may say those things about a character, but you can't really get like you can't portray that truthfully unless you like know the source of it. Because to me, acting is being like as truthful as you possibly can. And so in order to bring that truth to the screen, I have to do that work. So I go in and I literally have like a whole notebook of pages and pages and pages for each character of like their backstory and important life events, at least three of them, and make sure I review that before I go into any of the script.
Hmm. So what more could you tell us about Zoe that you gave her? Give us a few tidbits.
Zoe's such a complex character, and I love her too. In my brain, Zoe was really misunderstood. Um, she grew up in California, and she grew up like in a single parent household with a parent who kind of like dismissed her a lot. Um, like didn't really listen to her when she had emotions about anything. Um, and then the reason that she ended up in jail, which I mean, we kind of know a little bit, but my little twist on it is like it wasn't really her, like she was framed, you know, like it wasn't really her fault.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think, I hope at least a lot of the other stuff came out in the performance. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's a little bit. There's a lot, but that's a little bit of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because Zoe was a sympathetic character who you could feel empathy for in the
Mhm.
situation that she was in. however, she used her knowledge and her experience to help, and so selflessly
Yeah.
also. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's too why I like took the angle of her being framed instead of her actually being the one who like killed him because um she was like, I don't want this to happen to her either. So I think, yeah, that was an important tidbit in my brain that helped me kind of like
Mhm.
reach her a little bit easier.
Yeah. And the stunts, where you got punched, you got dragged.
Whew, yes, I did. And that was hard. That took a long time.
Did it?
Some of them specifically, there was one where I remember like I was on the ground and like I was being punched and kicked at the same time. And then I had to like throw a punch right after, and that one took forever. Just because, of course, you don't actually want to punch anybody. And so the angle of the camera and the angle of like my fist had to be just right so it looked real.
Mhm.
So that took forever to do.
How much did you have fun doing it? Would you like to do more stunts, or you like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
that's it?
No, I loved it. I loved working with, the fight coordinator, and I loved like being able to have a little bit more training and like all of that stuff. And it was really, really fun. So I would
Mhm.
love to do that. And it's also, like I said, a detour from what I normally do, and I always welcome those. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I kind of I know that you have a background in pageantry and
Mhm.
in cheer and all that. So you have a lot of move, and you're a dancer, so you have a lot of movement already in you. So stunts is kind of a interesting progression to utilize those skills.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
think I used to do a lot of work with other actors too, but part of the work that I do for myself is really like the mind body connection and um, helping myself understand the character through like movement and things like that. So that is a big part of how I find a character, but it's a big part of like my enjoyment in the craft as well. So I
Hmm.
do think that comes from being a dancer.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you could see that in your movements, and I think that that look helps make it more legitimate, really, because the skill that you had developed in the past you can use now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I think it's definitely a big part of characterization for any character is their movement because everyone walks differently, everyone like breathes differently. So studying that and bringing that in is just another layer that we can add. So thank
Mhm.
you. That's such a huge compliment.
Well, you're welcome. And I did want to ask you about your flag spinning. How, I that looks so incredible when you see it in a parade. And how did you come to choose that particular area?
Yeah, color guard is something that I'm extremely passionate about. I still teach it. I found that because my mom did color guard back in like the 70s, and it was completely different then. But she like convinced me to audition when I was a junior in high school. Up till then, I was just doing theater, but she convinced me to audition, and then I just like kept doing it. So I did it in high school, I did it in college, I did it at the world class level competitively, and now I teach it. So,
And now you
yeah.
teach it. Wow. What would you say? Where do you start with somebody when they say, "Okay, I want to learn how to do this"? What is one of the first things that you would teach them?
One of the first things I teach is actually like movement because the body motivates the equipment. That's what I always tell my students. So I'll start with ballet basics. Like,
Ah.
this is how you point your toe. This is first position. This is second position. This is third position. And I actually did. I found in a company, it's called Simply Color Guard, and it does have all of those basic things because a lot of people start in high school, but a lot of people find out about it after high school and you don't have the same opportunities after high school to learn those basics. Um, so I have a company called Simply Color Guard that has an online platform to learn like dance basics, flag basics, rifle saber basics. so that anyone can take it up as a hobby for fun or enhance their skills. So yeah, something that I love doing.
Well, now that I think about it, it sounds like most of the time we think about that in high school, college, but what
Mhm.
about adults?
Right. Exactly. It's so fun. Like sometimes I'll just grab my flag and go spin because it's such a stress reliever. Like it's fun. We shouldn't let go of hobbies like that when we become adults. I don't know why we stop.
Yeah. And you said that you teach this, and you're a life coach, right? Do you do life
Yeah,
coaching?
I do. I do that for artists and creatives, but a lot of the like mindfulness exercises that I use with them, I include in Simply Color Guard because performers in general, like we have confidence issues, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We have confidence issues. We have self-esteem issues. I think, especially as actors, because we like see ourselves too much. Like, I don't think anyone's supposed to be watching themselves as often as we do. So, it's natural for that to manifest. But I work with young performers and I work with actors to kind of figure out how to get rid of that, to mitigate that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And with performance and pageant, being in pageants, is that something also in your past? And did you choose that yourself, or were you kind of guided into pageantry and you said, okay, this is cool? How did that start?
Yeah, I found pageants because I got like something in the mail from NAM, which is like National American Miss. And I was like, sounds fun. I like dresses. I'll do it. So I did that in high school and I loved it. And then I continued and I did it. I think the last pageant I did was like 2020 or 2021. Um,
Mm,
I did Miss California USA, and then I did Miss United States USA, or US, sorry. And I love pageants because you get such a strong sense of community from all of your fellow contestants. But you also like really learn communication skills and confidence skills, and you get to dress up. So can't
Speaking
lose.
of, hey, dressing up, I saw a little video that you did for a Halloween costume for like $10.
Yeah, that is something else that I've kind of it's been a hobby this past year. Um, I didn't like I'm not a huge Halloween person. And I didn't want to spend money on a costume. So I was like, I'll just figure out and make one. So I would scroll on TikTok for a little bit to like get inspiration and just figured out how to make stuff. And turns out I'm decent at it. So that's been fun.
What was the name of it? You used playing cards and you
Yeah.
dyed a swimsuit and so,
Yeah.
mm,
It was my Queen of Hearts costume. I was the Queen of Hearts for Halloween, and I like found this white bodysuit at a estate sale. It was literally like $2. So I got that from an estate sale, and then I ordered like 2 packs of playing cards on Amazon, and I found a piece of cardboard, and I created like this neck thing with just like
yeah.
red playing cards. And I dyed the bodysuit red and I put rhinestones on it. And then I found like a rose hair clip and like made a belt. And then I went to Goodwill and I found a dress and I made like a half skirt with the dress and created this whole costume. It was really fun. I did it
What
in like
kind
a
of
day
feedback?
too.
What kind of feed did you get some feedback from people on your costume, your $10 costume idea? Because I thought it
Everyone
was
loved it.
super fun.
Thank you. Yeah, everyone loved it. They were like, "Where did you get that?" And I was like, "I made it. Tough, tough."
Mhm. And
So,
uh-huh.
everyone particularly liked the head neck thing.
Yeah.
Um, so that was the favorite part of the costume.
And costuming leads me to um leads me to costuming, cosplay conventions, comic book conventions and things like that. But it also leads me to Disney, which I in some of your videos I've seen, Mickey ears and Minnie ears, and are you a Disney fan?
I love Disney. I moved to California with no job. And my first job was like working at Disneyland. And so I worked in
Oh,
California Adventure and food service and got to go to Disneyland for free. So I loved that about the job. But because of that job, I talked to everybody in the lines when I was working. And one of the people that I talked to was like one of the heads of the the advertising part of Disney at ABC. And I ended up getting an associate producer job there for 3 years because of having that
ah,
chat.
Hmm.
So I have been a fan of Disney ever since I was a little girl, but I also have had the opportunity to work for them in many different capacities. So Disney is really close to my heart for sure.
all right. So, if you were a Disney princess, which princess would you want to be,
I
or
love
would you
this
want?
question.
To
Absolutely. I would love to be a Disney princess. I think I'm like a mix between like Ariel and honestly, Tiana. Like, I love those 2.
mm,
I think Tiana because she's just, like, really hell-bent on getting her dreams, like, nothing's gonna get in her way. Um,
mm,
so I love that about her, and then I'm obsessed with the ocean.
oh,
I'm obsessed with, like, finding little trinkets and making different uses out of them, um, and like, learning to sing and all of that stuff. So I really identify with Ariel in that way.
I can see that because I've seen your progression toward being a being more of a singer and using your voice and making you writing your first song, and so I definitely can see the Ariel in there as well.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I have an affinity for mermaids. I love mermaids. I create a and I also love Major League Baseball. So I created a Major League Baseball fan who's a mermaid. It's the whole thing with the New York Mets, but
Oh, cute. I love that.
so maybe I'll send that to you just to give you a smile, so
Oh,
you
I
can
would love to see it. Yes.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. And yeah, I think with the singing thing, my voice has been a thing that's been a sensitive topic for me for a very long time.
Mm,
Just because, I had instructors in the past who would be like, you'll never be a singer. And then I've also, like, always been kind of, like, more on the introverted side. I've always been shyer. Sometimes, like, teachers would, like, tell me not to talk. So, like, rediscovering my voice has been a huge new chapter, for me in the past few years, and so learning to sing was part of that. So, yeah.
mm, mm. And how far would you like to take your singing?
Yeah, I think, I don't wanna put too many expectations on it, but I think just, like, growing as a singer and being able to do it for fun, loving to do it without feeling self-conscious about it. Um, I would love to release, like, an album, at least one, in the future. I've been writing songs since I was a kid, so I have a lot. So I would love to do that.
Oh, okay. And you've been in a couple of music videos, haven't you?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
Was one where you were roller skating? Were you roller skating in?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. That's crazy. Yeah, I got to do that with, a really talented artist and met a lot of friends there too. But I have a lot of friends who are singers as well, so I help them out with their music videos all the time.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, we're almost getting toward the end, but I did want to ask you about a dramatic role that you did in Gamer Boy,
Yeah.
which was pretty intense,
Yes.
very a departure. How did you come to that role? And it is available. I forget where I watched it, but it is available to watch. Mhm.
Yeah, that one I auditioned for on Actors Access. Um, and I didn't think I was gonna get it. I was like, "There's no way. Like, this is too dramatic." But no, I did get it. And We actually shot that over the course of a weekend. Like it was very
Oh,
fast. Yeah,
wow.
it was 3 days, and it was very emotionally rigorous. I'll say
Yes,
that.
indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
it was very emotionally rigorous. I was like running for my life. I was angry. I was sobbing. Like there were so many things happening over the course of those 3 days. And so at the end of it, I was like completely drained, honestly. But the cast and the crew held a lot of space for all of those emotions as well. But that one's definitely a hard watch, and it was hard to shoot as well.
Mm-hmm. And a stretch for you, and added some more skills to your arsenal
Yeah,
of acting. You got to really stretch yourself, I thought, in there, and deal with some really emotionally intense issues. And well, I was hoping for more at the end, but it was a short, so it kind
yeah,
of that's kind of a teaser. So I really have enjoyed all of your varied roles, the comedy, the drama, your pageantry, you're helping other people, and and I look forward to seeing what you do next, Courtney. And I
thank
and
you.
what do you have coming up? Is there something that we might look for?
I should have a movie coming out soon. They keep changing the name, so I don't want to say the name in case I get it wrong. But it's going to be on Tubi. And I got to play a detective in that one. So I do have a movie coming out soon. And then I'll be shooting a few verticals in the new year, so I'm excited for that.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for being with us and sharing some of your activities and hopes and dreams with us today. And we hope for you a fantastic 2026.
You too. Thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.
Now, going over to the things you do when you don't have to be on stage.
Mhm.
What do you like to do in your spare time when you just want to relax?
It's a great question, and I ask myself that a lot. I'm like, how can I relax? I love watching other people's work. So I love watching movies and TV. I love roller skating. So I've really kind of taken up roller skating, and sometimes I'll like just drive to the beach and go skating when I have free time. And of course, dance. I think like as a dancer, yeah, like I'll dance for a job, but I just love dancing and choreographing stuff for myself as well. So I love taking class and I love being around other creatives and learning different choreography that maybe I'm not as like familiar with. So it's a productive way for me to unwind, but I think that's how my brain works.
Well, and anything that works is great. Um, if you had your choice of your next vertical, what genre would you like to see it be? Even one that you haven't seen before, that like you would like it to be.
I think I've seen a few breakdowns for these, but I've never seen them in the wild. I would love like a spy action vertical where you get
Hmm.
to be like a secret agent or a spy or something. Like that would be so fun. So fun. I hope they actually do make those.
Yeah, I think they've had a few spies, but yeah, but you're talking like a drama action, not a comedy, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one of those. No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. No, I would love to because that would just, I mean, it would combine my favorite things. It would be a lot of like physical stuff. It would be like a challenge to connect on all of the emotions, and I'm sure it'd be like a really powerful role too for everyone involved. So I'd
Hmm.
love to do that.
Yeah. Well, is there anything that we haven't brought up that you would like to bring up before we close?
Um, no, I mean, I've been creating a lot of content, and my goal for 2026 is actually to create more content because I feel like the through line for me is just like inspiring people to become the best version of themselves. And so I try to do that through content, through the projects that I choose to work on, through music, through everything that I do. And so I hope to continue to do that in whatever medium I can. And I hope it resonates with people. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to voice Marsha's comment too. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure. And we hope to have you back on again in, the coming year when you've got some new projects. And if you'd like to come on with a co-star that you've had, that they're your best buddy now, we can have you both on at the same time, and you can talk about a production or whatever, or just talk about what you two have the same interest or whatever. But we're open to almost anything. So
awesome. Sounds great. I'll let them know. I'll get some people together.
Okay. Well, you take care, Courtney, and everyone.
Thanks,
This is the last podcast that we are doing on this network until 2026. And we've got a bunch of vertical actors coming in January. And then at the end of February, we'll be back with The Voice. So we're looking forward to that. So everyone take care, and we'll see you again another time. Bye-bye.
Bye.